Welcome back to One on One. In case you didn't realize or you've been snoozing the entire episode, it is New York's longest running sports call-in show. That's Kate. I'm Bradley. We got Gabby and Kurt steering the ship behind the booth. And once again, if you want to call in, the number is 718-817-2750. That is 718-817-2750. If you're just tuning in, we just talked about the MLB All-Star Game. So if you want to catch that segment, you can either go to our YouTube channel at WFUV Sports. By the way, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And if you don't have YouTube somehow, if you're, I guess, delusional and don't like to watch YouTube, if you're in your car tonight from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m., you can turn on this radio to 90.7 FM and catch us there, where you can catch every segment from this episode. Once again, that's 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. if you want to catch all the action. And speaking of action, we got some WNBA All-Star Game chit-chat going on. So the draft was a few nights ago where Caitlin Clark and Napheesa Collier drafted their teams. And before, we were talking about it back in the booth, it was so funny to me that Collier wore like the Unrivaled t-shirt and spent the entire, I was watching the clip earlier. She spent the entire draft promoting her Unrivaled team and then she proceeded to pick her Unrivaled teammates over her own.
Yep.
I mean, I guess you got to pay the bill somehow, right? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I just thought that was funny. Like, I'm like, when is she gonna is she gonna pick her teammates or is she gonna pick her Unrivaled teammates? I just thought that was pretty funny.
I thought it was really funny because it's a WNBA event, and she spent a lot of the time talking about, obviously,
about a
non-WNBA thing. And she, she is obviously the Unrivaled co-founder alongside Breanna Stewart. So Breanna Stewart ended up being her first pick, and I mean, it's just so funny to me that she spent so much of that time talking, not even talking about it, but it was just like little comments, and then going obviously for people that she's played with alongside Unrivaled, or even, UConn alum. She obviously went for Becker's, and I mean, it's just really funny to me. She's a great player. She's one of my absolute favorites in the WNBA, but it shows that, there's like this level of, she's a part of the union. She's the vice president of the union. And that was, part of what made it clear of, they were clear. She was clearly trying to be like, you should pay us more. You should pay us more. You should pay us more.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
She's like, we got to do what we got to do to get paid. And clearly it's, throwing out her, talking about Unrivaled a lot, which I think was really funny. But it was great to watch this draft because they clearly had a lot of fun with it, and I'm really excited for these teams. And yeah, I mean, it was a record-setting year for fan voting, with Clark having almost 1.3 million votes and Collier with almost 1.2 million votes, which two highest vote totals in league history. And, they had more votes by themselves this year than the top 30 players combined received in 2023. So, wow. I mean, that just shows how much the WNBA as a whole has grown in the last 2 years, which is phenomenal. And obviously a lot of it is due to Caitlin Clark and around Caitlin Clark. However, what I love about this All-Star Game is it showcases all of the best talent in the league. It's not just about Caitlin Clark or about Paige Beckers, which, the media loves those two girls, and so they're always talking about them. But the WNBA All-Star Game really showcases all of the talent in the which is really exciting because these teams are stacked. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I'm really excited. It's this upcoming weekend in Indianapolis, so that's going to be exciting for Clark.
Especially in front of the home crowd. But
exactly.
With that being said, why don't we just go over the rosters real quick, and then we can give our predictions for who we think will win. So for Team Clark, we have Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu, Asia Wilson, Sadu Sabali, Kelsey Mitchell, Gabby Williams, Sonny Citron, Kiki Irafin, Jackie Young, and Kayla Thornton. And for Team Collier, we have Brianna Stewart, Alicia Gray, Nika Ogumike. Sorry, I completely apologize for botching that name. Then we have Paige Beckers, Courtney Williams, Skylar Diggins, Angel Reese, Alyssa Thomas, Kelsey Plum, and Ryan Howard. So congratulations to those 22 players that made the All-Star game. It's, once again, the All-Star game in sports is like one of the best accomplishments a player can receive because it's only a select handful of people who make the All-Star game. So once again, congratulations to those group of 22. And before we dive into predictions, do you think anybody was snubbed or do you think they got it right?
We talked about this earlier. I do not think there were a lot of snubs because these teams are stacked with clearly the best in the W. However, we talk about Citron and Iriafen, who were chosen. They're both rookies for the Mystics, and someone also from the Mystics is Brittany Sykes, and she, unfortunately did not make that, but she has about 18 points per game and 4.6 assists this year, and she's been playing extremely well this year. The Mystics have actually had a pretty okay season.
Not been too bad.
Yeah, where people thought they were going to be the worst, if not the worst team, one of the worst teams alongside the Wings this year. And they have actually been not too bad. And so I think the fact that Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen earned spots makes it kind of worse that Sykes didn't earn a spot because she has been playing so well this year. So I don't know. That was like the one person that I saw as like kind of a snub.
Yeah, especially since her 18 points per game and 5 assists are both career highs as well. Mm-hmm. And I guess if we're like nitpicking, I guess you could say Kayla McBride because she is shooting 45% from 3 and 90% from the charity stripe. But other than, I guess, Brittany Sykes, I think they did a really good job. I really don't have anything else to say. But on a side note, why don't we share our predictions? I'll let you go first, and then I will share why I picked my pick. So I know you shared your pick back there, but
yeah, I mean, I've talked about this, and I'm very strong on this decision. I think Collier is going to win. This is going to be a great matchup, which is really exciting because both of these teams are so strong. However, I mean, any team that you have Fee on is going to be a great team. You've also got Brianna Stewart, phenomenal athlete, and you have NECA, who I absolutely love. I think she's an incredible player. And they have great reserves. Obviously, their starting five is fantastic, but their reserves are stacked as well. You've got a few large players in that reserves. You've got, and I feel like they have a great mix of veterans and rookies. And this is just going to be a really strong team, in my opinion.
I went the opposite route. I picked Team Clark because think about it. You have 3 players on the same team that all play for the Indiana Fever, and they're playing in Gainbridge Fieldhouse. I just think they're going to be a little more fired up than the rest of the players to obviously perform in their home stadium. And you have arguably 2 of the best shooters in the W with Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionesco on the same team. They may combine for like 60 points.
Yes.
Or something like that. And when you have a front court of Asia Wilson, Sadar Sabali, and Aaliyah Boston, I'd say that's pretty unstoppable. But I feel like the All-Star game is all about like offensive firepower. I feel like kind of like with like the actual NBA, it's all about like high scoring offenses who could score more. I just think I can never go against 2 of the best shooters in the W with Sabrina and whoa, I just lost my train of thought. Words are difficult. Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, I was going to say let's transition to 3-point contest, but we only have 1 confirmed contestant.
I mean, yeah, I'm really upset that Sabrina Ionesco is not participating. She decided not to participate this year, and I mean, she's fantastic at that, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that. However, back to the Team Clark situation, Asia Wilson got hurt in the game the other day.
So she may not be
if
playing.
She doesn't play, I think that's going to hurt them. I think that's going to hurt them a lot because she is that big player who, pushes in the paint and is really fantastic as a forward. And if she is out, which it is kind of looking like she's going to be, she has a wrist strain at the moment. So it seems like she's going to be out, especially because the game is this upcoming weekend. So that's not looking too good to me. And that it might be the breaking point for that team.
I would say if I'm obviously it's not official right now, but if Asia Wilson is out, then I would. I understand. I'd probably change my pick just because Asia Wilson contributes so much to that team. If you're looking at it,
Yeah.
But I get right now. I'm going to assume that
You're gonna
because she
keep
hasn't
it.
ruled, just for now. But if she gets ruled out within
Yeah.
the next,
Well, I
few
just
days-
wonder who they would replace her with.
That's kind of like
That's
would they put Brittany Sykes
that's why I'm
maybe?
curious. Well, not as a starter.
Oh,
They would
right,
maybe
right,
put
right.
her as a reserve.
Maybe
but I wonder who replaces her as a starter.
I mean, you
I'm
could make the.
curious.
Who would you
Gonna be
make the argument for
I mean,
if you had the?
if you're going based off of like literally top reserve, top pick, it would be Kelsey Mitchell. However, if you're replacing with a forward, you would go with, I would say Gabby Williams or even Kayla Thornton. I don't think she should have been that low in the picks. I really like her.
I don't know why she was the last pick.
Exactly. I can't believe she was the last pick for that because she is a fantastic player and she has really helped the Valkyries have kind of a strong season so far.
Especially, I don't know why we're hating on the expansion team.
Never hating on that expansion team. They have been fantastic this year.
Speaking of expansion, we have 3 new teams in the WNBA. Sadly, Boston did not get a.
I'm really upset about that.
Do you think they'll eventually get one? Or?
Oh, yeah, absolutely eventually. I think they'll be in the next round. However, this is going, I think, Cleveland's 2028, Detroit's 2029, and Philly's 2030. Yep. So we wouldn't be seeing new teams until what, 2031? That's kind of far out from now. It's a little sad to see them not be a part of that. But I think Detroit and Philly were both great picks. I don't know if I agree with Cleveland, but I probably would have chosen.
I choose Boston
over Cleveland.
I'm not going to be afraid to say I would have given it to Boston.
Yeah.
Or you can even make an argument for I know. Well, Seattle already has a team. Is there? I feel like I'm forgetting a major city that doesn't have a team that.
Well, Toronto and Portland are coming soon.
Oh, okay.
But they're like the next one. So they were already announced previously. They're coming in the next year or two. And those both have very strong fan bases, and those will succeed 100%, especially Toronto. You have a whole country behind you. But definitely sad to see Boston not be a part of that. However, it's just so exciting to see the expansion of the W and how quickly they're expanding. The fact that they just announced 3 more teams in the next few years is really exciting. You've got 5 years. In the next 5 years, you're going to see five more teams, which is really exciting.
And they'll probably continue to add more every few years.
Exactly.
I don't see because now the WNBA ratings stuff are an all-time high. There's no reason not to keep adding more. I feel like with other sports like the NBA or the NFL or even MLB would hurt from expanding more. I feel like the WNBA is one of those exceptions where it would benefit them more to expand than to keep it
because they're not nearly at the level of any of those any of those other leagues because they only have a certain number of teams. They've got 13 teams, I think. And so it's not enough to be like, oh, yeah, we don't need to expand anymore. They have the perfect number to expand fully, and continue to expand. And
you could even say that maybe, let's just say, when it's all said and done, they have 24 teams, 12 in each.
I think probably add another 10 teams, yeah.
I think
absolutely.
24 is honestly a better number than a 30 or 32.
I agree.
Or 2.
I agree. I feel like that's a perfect number.
I think 24 is literally the perfect number because you have 12 teams each conference. You got perfect, even if you decide to go into divisions and stuff, you got 3 divisions, 4 teams per division. I think 24 is the perfect golden spot on number for in terms of expansion teams.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see them expand, and again, it's this specific game, this All-Star game. I can already predict this now. It's going to do better than any of the All-Star games have done in the past for the W. And it's very exciting because this is finally a league that's getting the recognition it deserves. It's a bunch of talent, a bunch of great basketball, and I'm just so excited to continue to watch it.
Now, 100. Speaking of the W, we're gonna shift to a more New York state of mind, where we're gonna talk about the New York Liberty. So, we'll be back right after this quick break. Stay tuned.